Okay, so the next bin is Kenner 3-inch Star Wars action figures. This bin is full and it's heavy, and a Darth Vader airbrush t-shirt. This bin is full. It's 3-inch vintage figures from the 70s and 80s. And then when they started reproducing and doing the Power of the Force line in 1995 or so, it's figures from then on up. And I think I actually stopped buying Star Wars 3-inch action figures about a year and a half ago. This is not all of the Star Wars 3-inch figures I have, but this is maybe half of them. But they're all in their bags. They all have their gears. All the new ones obviously have all of their gear and they're bagged up. Some of the vintage ones don't have all of their gear, but about half of my vintage figures I have all of their weapons, lightsabers, blasters, etc. Whoop. Okay. Here's a carrying case, and this is all. This is full, and this is all vintage. Yeah, these are all vintage figures, all bagged up, nice and clean. And God, I'd love to pull these out and display them, you know, so you could really look at them. But you know, we just don't have that kind of time. But yeah, this is just too many to set up. But this is really cool too. This is actually, let me just pull this out real quick. This is a contemporary. This is full of figures. This is contemporary. I just bought this for $10 at Toys R Us about, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 months ago. I don't really collect new lunch boxes, and this isn't really a lunch box. It's more of just a tin. But I just love that artwork. I love that piece of artwork for The Empire Strikes Back, and I had to get it. It was $10, you know. I had to get it, and it's a great way to keep some figures kind of separate from some of the others in this bin. But this bin is full of Star Wars Kenner 3-inch action figures. So let's look at the next bin. Okay, here's the next bin, and for this bin I will be wearing Dr. Sheldon Cooper t-shirt from The Big Bang Theory. Love that show, you know. Yeah, but there's one episode of that where they talk about Sheldon, or he says to Leonard or something, Leonard's selling stuff. He's like, "You've built a Nerdvana here." And he has like one little box of action figures. I'm like, dude, man, you don't know what Nerdvana is, bro. Okay, so this is almost all Star Wars stuff, and this is all box stuff. This is all stuff I've managed to keep the box for or haven't opened. Triple set, 3 set of mini Mighty Mug bounty hunters from Empire Strikes Back, Bosk, Boba Fett, and IG-88. This is Yoda from the Clone Wars, first day of issue. This is the Power of the Force Darth Vader from 1995. This is the figure, this is the exact toy that got me back into collecting Star Wars stuff. In 1995, these came out, and I was like, hey, look, they're putting back out, they're going to start doing Star Wars 3-inch action figures again. They hadn't done them for several years. They weren't there. The Kenner line was over, and they didn't make them anymore. In 1995, these popped back on the shelves, and I saw it, and I was like, oh, crap. I was like, man, I got to get me a Darth Vader 3-inch action figure. That's awesome. And boom, well, the previous bin, you see what that led to. But this is him with the long sword. He is actually unopened. Funny story about this, and I'm going to make this a very quick story. One day I was setting up one of my inventory photographs, and I was setting up Star Wars 3-inch action figures. You'll probably be seeing it. There it is. Okay. So this long saber was actually extra long on the first release, and shortly after that they shortened it down. They said that's too long. Well, if you have the long saber, that's like significant that you have the long version, means it's earlier. Well, I had this Darth Vader unopened, and that long saber fell off of the shelf onto the floor, and Gracie, my dog, one of my dogs, got a hold of it and chewed the tip of it off. And I was like, oh man, I was bummed out. I've had that thing since 1995, and now it's incomplete, you know. So I talked to my wife, and she said, okay, you know, go and see what one would be on eBay, and if it's reasonable, maybe, you know, you can replace it. So I went on eBay and I looked, and I was like, you know, this thing's what, 1995. I was like, this thing's, you know, about 12 years old now. You know, I hope I don't have to pay too much for it. I went on eBay and I got this. After shipping, I think I paid like $9 for this after shipping. That's just under twice what I paid for it when I bought it in the store, which I think was about $4.50 in 1995. So, you know, just because you have an unopened Star Wars action figure doesn't mean it's going to be valuable. If it's from, you know, the late 70s, early 80s, yeah, if it's unopened, it's going to be valuable, or it is valuable. But, you know, this guy, I could have kept him unopened for this amount of time, and he would only really be sellable for about $8 or $9. It's kind of a shame, but I think Lucasfilm should learn a lesson from overproducing. Plus, a lot of people thought, oh, hey, look, this action figure, look at what the vintage ones unopened are worth. I'm going to get a new one. I'm going to buy a whole box full of new ones and not open any of them, and they're all going to be worth that same amount. Well, they're not. The reason the old ones are worth so much is because people opened them, and to find them unopened is just difficult. The new ones, people went in and bought 10 of them to not open purposely because, you know, they thought they were going to be worth a lot of money. You know, collect what you love, not what you think is valuable, right? Or at least that's what I do, kind of. But here's some Power of the Force figures from the 90s, unopened, Grand Moff Tarkin and Princess Leia. And here's a Clone War 12-inch clone trooper. He has been opened, but he's complete and in the box and in mint condition. I don't have a lot of stuff from the new Star Wars movies. I don't particularly like the new Star Wars movie. Actually, I almost profoundly dislike them. They're just, I don't know, we don't have the time to talk about that right now. But every now and then some of the toys from those films are really cool. 12-inch clone trooper, you know, had to get him. He's just a really cool figure. Then we've got Mr. Potato Head, Darth Tater. This was the first release of the Darth Vader Mr. Potato Head. I think they've done several since then, but, you know, I don't know how many and what the value of them is worth. I thought it was bizarre, weird, and cool, so I had it. Darth Vader Trilogy on VHS. This is Star Wars. This is cool. This is the first time that CBS Fox Video released Star Wars for sale to the public, so you could go home and watch it on your own TV in your living room. This was the very first time they did that. And I got this VHS from a video rental store. God, it doesn't even have a date on it. But this, Video Adventures, that was the store I got this from. But I thought that was worth hanging on to. VHS of Empire Strikes Back before Lucas started messing with them. And this is a VHS copy of Troops. If anybody's ever never seen this, you should go out and check this out. This is basically it's stormtroopers on Tatooine crossed with cops. You know, bad boys, what you gonna do? And I thought this VHS was a pretty cool thing to hang on to. So that's that. And let me see. We have in the box we have. This is from the 90s as well. This is not vintage. But if it's from the 90s, is it contemporary? Is it kind of vintage? I'm not sure. But there's a 12-inch Luke X-Wing in the box. He has been opened, but he is still in the box. The Cantina Band member, he has been opened. I open all my toys, you know, virtually all of them. I didn't spend money on this stuff. I don't go out and spend money on this stuff because I love it, so I can go home, keep it in a box, and not enjoy it. Part of the enjoyment of toys is that tactile, the touching them and actually feeling them, actually looking at them in a three-dimensional space. Sometimes you can look at them a little bit in a three-dimensional space in a box, but you can't really experience the three-dimensional space of a toy inside a box. These are some of the boxes that I have managed to keep, but all of these guys are complete. All of their weapons and everything are with them. Now here's these are actually still in the box. This is a Luke and a Stormtrooper. These are the retro boxes, so obviously I kept them. And I actually have not opened these. These guys have not come out of the box. I believe these came out around 1998, maybe 1999, but those are a couple of really cool 12-inch figures. And then here's something, the only non-Star Wars item in the box. This is the King of the Stuntman Evel Knievel Stunt Cycle. This is the same toy that I had when I was a kid, but this is a re-release that they put out. I think this is the 2000 version. And this is a complete actual reproduction of the exact toy that they made in the 70s. Just a couple of variations, more chrome on the bike. I think there's a little more detail on the bike, but this is an awesome set. Interesting thing is that often this will sell for nearly as much as the original Stunt Cycle set from the 70s because they didn't make a lot of them. It was hard to find them, and most people that bought these took them out, gave them to their kids, took them out in the backyard and destroyed them. So these sets from 2000, these reissues of the Evel Knievel Stunt Cycle, often are as valuable and sought after and desired for as the originals. So that's everything in this bin. Let's keep it going. Let's go to the next one. Okay, so here's the next bin, and this was a relatively small bin comparatively. And the only other thing besides these Hulk figures in here was 2 Hulk hats and a Hulk beanie plushie guy, and a couple of little tiny Hulks that, you know, we're not going to really do maker photography to show you those. But this is a bunch of Hulks. Spanning yearage and companies. This is from the Ed Norton Hulk movie. This is a new Marvel little mini bust. This is from the Adventures movie. It's a kind of a Transformer Hulk robot thing from the Adventures movie. This is a Marvel Universe from about 2 or 3 years ago. The 2-pack with Valkyrie. This is a Marvel Legends. This is the first appearance of Hulk. Green variation. This is a piggy bank that's, I think that's around the era of the Ed Norton, might be a little newer. This is a contemporary little Hulk. This is the first ever Lego Hulk. Love this thing. Finally Lego made a Hulk. You had to buy the set for $40 to get this little Hulk, but at least Lego did it. This is for Toy Biz from the early 80s. This is new. This is from the Avengers movie. This is Marvel Legends. I think that's Marvel Legends. This is Zombie Hulk. This is Diamond Select, I believe is the company. This is from the Avengers movie. This is Diamond Select. This is Ultimate Gray Hulk, and I totally didn't like the way they painted him because he was black with gray veins and it didn't look right, so I repainted him and made him the kind of lime green 90s Hulk that I thought he should be. But I had a lot of fun painting him. I probably devalued him, but man, he looks awesome. This is such a cool figure. And when he was just black with gray veins, it was like, what the heck is wrong with that Hulk figure you got? So I like him better this way, you know. This is, I think this might be Marvel Unleashed or Ultimate Hulk. This is contemporary. This is from the Avengers movie. And this is famous cover Hulks from Toy Biz. This was 97, I believe, 95, 96, 97, when they were trying to emulate the Mego figures of the 70s, and they came out with this famous cover series. Some of these famous cover series figures are awesome. Some of them, you know, have some problems as for action figures, but this is one of the best one from that series. That's just an awesome Hulk, man. He is just such a cool figure. And this is Mego from the late 70s. Mego did do 12-inch figures, and this is the 12-inch Hulk. He is not complete. He actually came with a white lab coat. I do not have the boxes for almost all of these, almost all of them. I had to chunk the boxes. I mean, the box like for this guy was like this big, and I don't have the space to keep this. So I was like, well, you know, I have to open this guy, even if I chose not to. I couldn't choose not to. I didn't have that option because I just don't have the space to keep these really big display boxes that the companies make sometimes for these toys. But here's just a nice assortment of Hulks. Let's get on to the next bin. Well, here's the next bin. And this looks like this is mostly Star Wars stuff. Not all Star Wars stuff, but a lot of Star Wars stuff in this one. And let's check it out. You see we got some Star Wars CD-ROM games, Jedi Knight, Galactic Battlegrounds. Here's Making Magic, The Art of Lucasfilm. Got a C-3PO and R2-D2 Christmas ornament. Boba Fett Mighty Mug. Luke Skywalker and Bespin outfit Mighty Mug, and the Han Solo on Hoth Mighty Mug. This is a vintage Empire Strikes Back Kenner 3-inch Star Wars set. This I don't think was in any movie, I don't know, but somebody gave this to me recently. This is complete and in a not so great condition box, but it's a vintage box. You know, it's pretty cool. See, here's the masks that Derek Mears, who played Jason in the Friday the 13th movie, the remake in 2009. I met him at the station at my job, and he signed this hockey mask for me. It says, "Johnny, murder you soon, Derek Mears." You know, awesome. So we got Star Wars. There's a Darth Vader Trick or Treat pail. You know, sometimes I keep everything. You can't keep everything, and eventually sometimes I end up throwing a lot of stuff away. Sometimes I manage to keep a Star Wars French fry container. You know, okay. Eventually some of that stuff, you know, gets thrown away, but I try to keep some of that stuff as long as possible. Here's some more Star Wars CD-ROM games. Here's the rest of that, the costume for that Darth Vader mask from a couple of bins ago. Here's a C-3PO and R2-D2 electronic piggy bank. This is from the early 90s. I think it still works, but man, it's been so long since I've tried. I don't know, but I think it still works. Here's a pillowcase. This is from the late 70s. It'd be nice to have the whole sheet set, but this is a vintage pillowcase that is just in great condition and really, really cool artwork on that. You can really tell that that's old. It doesn't look like anything contemporary. Star Wars magic markers. You know, sometimes I don't know why I buy everything that I buy, but sometimes you just figure, okay, that was a hoarding item. Okay. These are really cool. These are contemporary. These are this is a reissue of the 3-inch land speeder from Kenner, and it's a vintage retro box. This is brand new and complete. I actually did take it out, set it up, stare at it for about 12 hours, and put it back in the box. Here is the same. This is the twin pilot cloud cars. This is complete, new, contemporary. I took it out of the box, stared at it for 12 hours, and put it back in the box. But these two vehicles are my absolute, well, not absolute, but these are two of my favorite vehicles from Star Wars and the 3-inch Kenner line. Star Wars New Hope trilogy, the music composed and conducted by John Williams. This is the Dark Forces CD-ROM game. Star Wars Millennium Falcon CD-ROM playset. I do have the Millennium Falcon playset that goes with this. I'll point it out later when we come across it. But it looks like that's it for this bin. Okay, so let's check out the next bin. Okay, so here's the next bin. And it's kind of a small bin, but here's everything that was in this. And this is mostly unopened stuff. This is a Marvel and DC assorted things. The Green Lantern 12-inch. This is such an awesome, beautiful figure. Wonder Woman, J.J. Abrams, Star Trek Spock. I have him actually opened and unopened. This is the Wolverine Hulk 2-pack with reproduction of Hulk 181. I actually took that book out, and it's in, I had to put it in a bag to protect it, because these packets after some time sometimes will pinch that book, and that is such an awesome reproduction that I had to take it out. Spider-Man journal, little tiny Hulk figure, Toy Biz thing from early 90s, mid 90s. Titanium Man, Iron Man's nemesis from Toy Biz. Another Toy Biz thing. That's a Toy Biz. I can't remember his name. I thought he was the Abomination, the Hulk's enemy, but he's not. He's somebody else's X-Men character. Can't remember who it is. There's the J.J. Abrams Star Trek Kirk, Wonder Woman Hot Wheel. I like things like this. Sometimes, you know, there's a Green Lantern Hot Wheel, a Batman Hot Wheel. Sometimes they're cool. Sometimes it's like, yeah, that's just a neat package. But this is actually a cool car. I really dig on that Wonder Woman design for that Hot Wheel. So I thought that was really cool. Hulk and Spidey patch. Two Toy Biz Spider-Womans from the early, late 90s, somewhere around there. And this is just one more bin of some assorted stuff. So let's go on to the next one. So the next bin is a big one, and it's all metal lunch boxes, so I'm not even going to pick it up. I'm just going to pull them out one by one. Some of these are vintage. Some of these are not vintage. This is G.I. Joe, not vintage. That's 90s. What do we got here? Incredible Hulk. That is also not vintage. That is 90s. And what do we got here? This is a Marvel thermos. It goes with the Marvel lunchbox. This is vintage. This is late 70s. This is just a beautiful lunchbox. Look at that, man. That is just beautiful, beautiful work there. And it's in great shape. Got the thermos for that bad boy. Let me see what we got here. This is contemporary. This is from the Avengers movie. I think I got this at Toys R Us this year for about 10 bucks. We got here, this is vintage Hulk. This is, I think 77, 78, 76, 78, and I have the thermos for that somewhere. Here is a mini G.I. Joe lunchbox that is contemporary as well. I'm gonna wall myself up with lunchboxes here. And this is obviously contemporary, the classic Bazinga. You know, gotta have that. It's a staple of lunchboxness. Okay, let's just do it like this. There we go. And I've got a lot of lunch boxes just kind of spread around. Here is a contemporary. This is Toy Story. I really like the vintage ones, and I usually don't buy a lot of contemporary metal lunch boxes, but sometimes they're just too cool, or the price is right, you know. This is one of my favorites, Hong Kong Phooey. This is vintage, and that's just classique. Okay, and what else we got here is the Hulk thermos for his lunchbox right here. And hold on a minute, I'm gonna zap right back. Boop. Okay, I popped back there, teleported to go get some more lunch boxes. This is a contemporary Spider-Man. I got this at Walmart for $2, man. They turned out to be shelf warmers. So $2, man, how about it? Bam, this is a new Avengers. Got that for $2 as well. And I got this at the Goodwill store, Dr. Pepper. And it's beat up a little bit, but paid $1.41 for it. This side's a little better. I gotta get that grease writing off. Just got this a couple days ago. And this is contemporary as well. That is not vintage. It's kind of made to look vintage, but it's not. And then this is another cool one that I just got recently. This is contemporary, but it looks vintage. Spam, you know, I mean, you can't collect metal lunch boxes and not have a Spam lunch box. So I think that's all of my metal lunch boxes, pretty much. I have a couple more scattered around the collection. We'll see them later. But this is about it. Okay, this isn't a bin really, but these are some Joes that I had already displayed in the closet. So it was easy to just pull these out and talk about these. These are all reproductions. These are not original Adventure Team Joes. These are reproductions of the 1970s incarnation of the 12-inch G.I. Joe. The Kung Fu grip, the real hair, the beards, all of that came in the 70s when G.I. Joe went away from a military figure, a military hero, into more of an adventure realm. You know, military and guns was kind of getting out. Vietnam, I think, was turning a lot of people kind of off of war. You know, parents wanted to buy kids stuff that didn't come with rifles and pistols. Interestingly enough, most of the adventure teams did actually come with pistols anyways, but they were geared more toward adventure. These are all reproductions that were put out, I think, about about 2004, 2005. They are exquisite reproductions. I mean, they are really nice. The hair is nice. It's not flocked in the same way the originals were flocked, and you can tell, but they're still very well done. If you like those original Adventure Team G.I. Joes and you can't afford $150, $200 a pop for them, well, you can get these guys, or at least you could for a short time. I got a buttload of them. Surprisingly, when they came out, they were $10 on the shelf, which just blew me away. I couldn't figure out why they weren't $15 or $20. Any other figure of this size at the time that was on Walmart shelves and Target shelves would have been $20. I don't know why they were $10. So I started buying one like every 2 days for about a week. Second week I went back, they had them all marked down to $5 a piece. So I bought every last one that they had at this Walmart. And then I started bopping around at Walmart's the next weekend looking for more of them. They did 5 variations, the Land Adventurer, the Commander, the Action Sailor, the Action Pilot, and the Action Marine. Blonde hair, dark hair. There's also a red hair version that I don't have standing out here. But these are just awesome. Adventure Team G.I. Joes, friggin' love them. Let's move on. Okay, this next bin, here's some Johnny West figures made by Marks. These were popular around the time when G.I. Joe came out. Western stuff was real big. Gunsmoke, Bonanza, Big Valley, you know, Western stuff was real big at this time, and Johnny West was very successful in that era. It was Johnny West, Black Bart, whom we saw earlier at the starting of the film, Geronimo, I can't remember her name, but that's Johnny West's daughter. This is Stony Smith, which is Marx's answer to G.I. Joe. This Jeep, this is also Marx. This is a metal Jeep. And this is, I can't remember her name right now, but I think this is Jane West, duh. And here's a couple of Marx astronauts. I don't know what that series was called. But these are some awesome figures. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of gear for these guys. Johnny West figures, if you have their gear and all their stuff's on there, just beautiful, awesome, cool toys. And I wish I could concentrate on Johnny West and get a lot of that gear and really get a nice collection of them. But, you know, all good things and all good time, and we do what we can. But this is some nice figures.